So hey everyone, it's Lynn from Holistic Health and Wellness, Wednesday afternoon, and I'm delighted to be here with you. Today I wanted to talk about sugar cravings. So I am certainly no stranger to the occasional urge to rip open a chocolate bar. Go through the drive-through maybe. For me, going through a drive-through is more like going through Dairy Queen and getting a blizzard, or diving into my favorite bag of chips, or even some peanuts that I would probably eat in excess. And probably for many of you, you're no stranger to this either. And as I've shared with you before, I had a total obsession with things that was sweet and all things chocolate. So unfortunately in my life, that led me down a slippery slope. I was so hooked on chocolate that I would just hide my stash somewhere, hoping nobody would ever find it, and then I would go hide somewhere and eat it, so that people wouldn't know how much I was eating. Well, if you're in that situation, you know what that's like. It leads you to feeling disgusted with yourself. You feel totally out of control. You're always determined you're not going to do it again. But then lo and behold, you do it again, because sugar is more addictive than cocaine. And that to me was really, when I first heard that, it was astonishing. Just to think that something like sugar, that's found everywhere in all of our products, especially in processed foods, could be so addictive. No wonder so many people are addicted to sugar and they crave sugar, and it's really hard to get away from that sugar craving. I would just be beside myself when I do it. I mean, I would crave it so much, I would want it, but then afterwards I would be so ashamed of myself for having done it, because I wouldn't do it in small amounts, I would do it in huge amounts. I would think that I could have a few pieces, but it never seemed to work out that way for me. It always seemed to be more than just a few pieces. So I'm not saying it's wrong to have it. So the occasional indulgence is nothing to be alarmed about. And for many people, they can eat as little as they want and be satisfied. But if you're like me and you find yourself licking the remnants of your indulgences off your fingers, on a very regular basis, if you find yourself just really craving that food continually, then you need to find some ways to practice self-control to get ahead of those cravings. So the goal is here for you to be in charge of your cravings and not for them to be in charge of you. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying that you would never indulge again in the foods that you love. But there are a few things that I found helped me. So to motivate me, I knew that I was damaging my body. I could tell it. I was having sickness. I was having issues with my health. Certainly I was gaining the weight and nothing would get it off. And of course, a lot of times when you're indulging in sweet things like that, it becomes visceral fat or excess belly fat that's really hard to get rid of. It was really putting a strain on my health, causing my weight to go up and down, which was certainly not a good place to be. So that became my motivation. When I wanted to think about what my future looked like, I didn't want it to look like that. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to live a long time. I didn't want to be sick, and I didn't want to have diseases. And I certainly didn't want to have anything like diabetes, which is really what I would have been on the roadway toward if I had continued to eat in that way. So, you know, different people have different motivations. How you handle your cravings is also different for every person. But you need to get to the root of your craving. So one thing I like to do is to keep a journal, so that you can know what it is that's causing you to do that. Is it that you're bored? Did you have a horrible day at work? For women, is it that time of month? Has something gone on that's very stressful, that's triggered a craving for something sweet or even something savory for you? So next time the craving comes along, evaluate what's going on around you, because very often if you do that and you realize what it is that's happening to you and why you're craving that, that helps you to stop doing it. So, you know, I live on a a rule that's like 80-20. So 80% of the time I'm having a completely healthy lifestyle, and 20% of the time, if I want to, I can give in to my cravings and indulge a little bit. So eating healthy the majority of the time lowers your cravings drastically anyway. Another thing you can do is you can try to eat more often, and I know it might sound counterintuitive, but if you eat more often, you'll keep your blood sugar levels more stable, on an even keel. Pack a healthy snack so you can enjoy something mid-morning, mid-afternoon. By doing that, you're satisfied longer, and you're not going to be heading off to the vending machine or craving that sweet thing. And then slow down when you're eating. So you've heard me, if you followed me for a while, I say this a lot, and it's something that was very hard for me to do because I come from a family that literally gulps down their food, not giving any thought to how that affects your digestion. I didn't give any thought to savoring what I was eating, but in the health coaching realm, we call it mindful eating. So it's the best way to keep from overeating. You take a mouthful of food and you chew it. The goal is to chew it 30 times. And I realize to begin with that can be a really big goal. So just start with 10, 15 times, and then you think about it, and then you think about what you're eating, and you enjoy what you're eating. So remember, as I've said before, it takes 20 minutes for your brain to tell your stomach that it's full. So when we eat too quickly, we tend to overeat, and so for people like me, you don't think you're full, you'll run and get a dessert, and you really didn't need it because you were already full, but your brain just hadn't had a chance to tell your stomach that yet. So if you find yourself craving, flip it up, go do something else. Instead of just mindlessly sitting watching TV, maybe just go on outside, get some fresh air, or go sit on the back porch, enjoy the sunset, maybe go for a walk, maybe read a book, get busy doing some laundry or something around the house, just something that helps you to forget that nagging craving. Of course, if you possibly can, keep what it is that you crave out of the house. So you know what they say, out of sight, out of mind. It is so very true. So I can't tell you how many times I have come home and I've really craved something sweet and it just isn't in the house. So am I going to get up and go out to the store and buy something? 95% chance I will not. I just am too tired, or just can't be bothered, don't want to go up to the store just for that one thing I'm craving but don't really need. So you don't want to have it readily available. So, you know, let's get honest here and answer these questions for me. Just fill in the blank for yourself. My biggest craving I get is, so for me, my biggest craving I get is, of course, chocolate. Okay, so answer this one. I notice it happens when. So for you, it might be when you're totally stressed out, if you've had an argument with your spouse, and so your emotions are all haywire. It could just be a mind thing. It's just in your mind that you really have to have that thing. So another question, what craving nags you the most? So for me, as you know by now, it's chocolate. So I have to keep that totally out of the house. I try not to keep anything that's got chocolate in, although I do have to say I do have cacao in and sometimes put that into my smoothie as a treat. Obviously dark chocolate is better for you than the milk chocolate, but you have to be able to just eat that one piece and be satisfied. For me, I can't do that. I'm afraid it's all or nothing for me. So I tend to have to switch it out for something else. So think about healthy swaps that you can make. If you're craving something crunchy, like potato chips or something, then choose something like crispy carrots or crispy celery, maybe with hummus. If you're craving something sweet, switch it out for something like an apple with some almond butter, or a small serving of mixed nuts. If you want something cool and refreshing where you'd normally go for the ice cream, switch it out. Have some frozen melon balls in the freezer so that you can have that ice cream experience without the guilt. So there are always things that we can do. So I hope that helps. If you are one like me who is addicted to sugar or carbs, so try to eat more often, try to get to the root of your cravings, slow down when you eat, do something else, switch it up so that your mind is taken off of that. Keep your food cravings out of the house and swap smartly. So on September the 10th, I'm starting again, I've done it before, my 7-day sugar detox challenge. It's a free challenge. It gives you all the recipes that you need, a guide to walk you through what you need to know, shopping lists, and throughout the week, tips from me on how to get past your sugar cravings. So that is on September the 10th. It's a Monday. So it's easy to sign up. I'll put the link here under this video, and I would love for you all to do this. It has helped me tremendously, and I know it's helped many of the people who have taken this journey with me in the past. It's been hugely successful because, let's face it, so many of us crave sugar. We're addicted to sugar. I don't know if you realize how much sugar is even in the processed foods that you buy, but you might start checking your food labels just to see. So you can go to my website, holistic-healthandwellness.com/7-day-sugar-cleanse, but I will put the link under here for you. Hope that you'll join me. I'm really excited about it because I know what a tremendous help it is to people who struggle not just with sugar cravings, but savory things as well, carbs. It's all premised on the same thing and the same principles. So I hope that you'll join me, and I thank you for staying with me today. I hope that you will share this with somebody else. I would really appreciate that, and I would really appreciate you commenting underneath the live feed. That always helps me, and I really appreciate you doing that. So for all of you who have been here with me, thanks, and I will see you Friday on my regular Facebook Live. This is Lynn from Holistic Health and Wellness. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.